Alright. I think we're live. Anyone out there in chat land to let me know the otherwise? I think we're back. You are not live, this is a pre-recorded response? Perfect. Just the way I like it. If memory serves, this, combat challenge sucked. Hey, Otech, welcome back, buddy. 75 months, God bless ya. How you doing, Otech? Hey, Cold Brew, 94 months, let's go, welcome back. God damn it. I want to throw it back. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to kill this guy with this shit. The real problem with this level is that the sight lines for the arrows are just Jesus Christ, what? Sure. Why not? Link wouldn't grab the edge. Let's just back this up. I don't know why this one's giving me so much fucking trouble. I've not had any real major issues with any of the other ones. Where? Did that guy just throw that bomb 100+ feet across that fucking room? Is there another level above that one? Oh my god, Dapper. For fuck's sake. Like, the range on these guys... No, he was just throwing. He was just fucking yeeting. Go hang out over there. Oh, for fuck. Two-handed weapons in this game suck my knob. The fact that you can stun lock with a regular attack, but then like a running, jumping, double-handed fucking weapon won't. What a waste of time. Like, this guy's over here just... Oh my god, why? Like, you have to go for this guy first. Oh my god, dude. Well, they only give you sticks, so... What am I supposed to do? They give you a bow down there with no arrows until one of them's dead. Like, what exactly... Really? That doesn't... God, the combat in this game sucks! Oh, it's terrible! It's so unfun! It's so fucking unfun and poor! It's just awful! It's so fucking shite! God, why? Why is it, why? Why? Why is it so bad? Oh my god. It's just like being dragged along by the fucking nuts. It's why I've avoided combat pretty much everywhere I could. I don't want to engage in combat in this game because it's all bad. The only person that wants to engage in combat in this game are 3 people posting montages of themselves doing weird and wacky shit where they have to edit out the menus because if you were to leave the menus in, it would look fucking ridiculous. That's it. That's the sum total of all people enjoying the combat in this game. Anyone else that seems to have convinced themselves that this is good combat is clearly fucking delusional, or they just so desperately want it to be good because they want to like the game. It's horrible. It's horrific. It involves one of the worst mechanics in gaming. Having your weapons degrade on top of all this bullshit. It's just shite. It's unabashed shite. It relies upon you being able to freeze time so you can micromanage menus and shit. It's just ass. From top to bottom. I didn't play this game for fucking more than 15 minutes. And it's already ruined my afternoon that I have to fucking play it. Just because of the combat. Cause all the other shit just gets out of this, it's just gets in the way of everything else that's fun in this game. You know, what makes combat fun in this game? Building a fucking device that carpet bombs an enemy encampment? Absolutely zero necessity, adds a whole bunch of extra fucking time. Uses a whole bunch of items that you're then likely gonna have to go and fucking spend time replenishing. Who out there is just fucking eating that up? Cause they need Jesus. The combat is intended to punish you. I'm not even talking about this room. I'm just talking about the combat in general. It doesn't matter if it's in this room, another room, a slightly smaller room, a slightly larger room, 3 rooms stacked on top of each other, one in the shape of an elongated penis. It doesn't really matter what room we're in, open world, underworld, above world, skyland, Satan's asshole, Dante's Inferno, doesn't matter. The combat, regardless of the difficulty of the room or the situation that you are in, does not change the fact that the combat is shite. My 14th magic rod. I have them already collected, so I'm gonna leave this one here. I've seen Starfield's Gamebryo again, rearing its ugly head with soulless faces and animations. Yeah, well, I mean, there's a lot of really amazing shit going on there that deliver on all the promises. I think the least of everyone's worries is going to be the fact that they still look like claymation fucking bullshit Bethesda stuff. There's a lot going on. I'm gonna forgive it if they deliver on the rest of the promises. It's true that the character models are in higher fidelity, but the animations are still dog water. The fact that they had an entire section of that little direct dedicated to the animator that was specifically working on facial models tells me that they must be taking the piss, or the engine that they're working in is so limiting that they just could not pull off anything better. But you know, it's true. Like but in fairness, the only red flags in that, other than of course everyone assuming that the game is going to be probably pretty broken upon launch, because it's Bethesda, is stuff like the facial animations, the character models quality versus the quality of the environments. And for me, it was also just looking at the, some of the main hub worlds that they showed off being so tropey. I don't really need the tropiness, personally. I would have preferred a little less tropiness in that regard. But hey, they threw in the dedicated fan, so there's a good solid meme to bring back. Now that your shrine is over, they want you to use recall on the throne bombs and then use the remaining bombs on the constructs not surrounded by them already, thus in reverse. Okay. That's still shit. It's shit because I have to do this every 5 seconds. How else would they, bring us some dystopian space? What about long-standing, engine limitations and bugs that are carried over since Morrowind? Well, it's not like they just kept the Gamebryo engine from 1997 and are building a game that is for scope purposes, bigger than almost anything, in development, shy of perhaps Star Citizen, which will, as far as I'm concerned, possibly never fucking release. You know, there are holdovers because there are so many systems in there for the creation engine, for the way that AI works within their systems, and also that the engine is tracking every single item pretty much at all times, positionally and otherwise, and so that it has to account for basically everything that you, the player, are doing on a scale that very few, if no other games do. So there are things that, you know, they can rewrite it a million ways, but ultimately the issue is that they run up against more of is if they were to sit down and try to completely blast all those bugs out. I'm just spitballing here as to why it hasn't happened. It'd probably break more than it's worth. I have to assume at this point that since there are carryover bugs that they just haven't taken the time because they tried to and it broke more shit. I don't know. Alright, Deathbird, have fun. Yeah, thanks, Mark. Yeah. Am I happy that they had the same thing? The same bugs in some instances since Morrowind, even though the community patched it out a long time ago? No. Is anyone else doing what Bethesda does still to this day? No. So I guess you're just gonna, you know, we have to live with some bullshit. Unfortunately.
I can do it! Goro!
DK, 99 months. The Gretzky. Welcome back. Thank you, sir. Oh, he's still... If you're having girl problems off the BFU sign, I got 99 months, so this sub ain't one. Did you just come up with that now, or have you been sitting on that one for a month? I liked it. 10 out of 10. What up, Glimmer? My friends are still going off the fact, off on the fact that Persona 3 Reload won't have the answer, or the, FEMC on release. Yes. Yeah, the FES, the FES content. I'm not surprised. I'm going to assume it's because they're redoing and adding other shit. And that stuff either just didn't gel. I mean, if you think about it, it's not like there's a hell of a lot stopping them doing that. So, there has to be some reason. Female MC? Yeah. No, I know, yeah, I know what you mean. There has to be some reason for it. At this point, not having a female playable, main character, pretty par for the course. But, yeah. Not that I'm saying it should be that way. I'm just like, I'm just saying I'm not surprised. I made it up on the spot, let's go. Goated. I think it would be nice at this point if the Persona franchise had a choice up front. My only assumption is that they're avoiding it in some capacity so that from a romance perspective they only have to do one and not the other, and I guess they're assuming that even if it's close to 50-50, the majority of people playing this are dudes going after, you know, the waifu material, and so maybe they're just doing it for that reason. I don't know. I feel like the series is big enough now and making enough money now that that's becoming less and less of a viable excuse if it is in fact why they're going that route. But yeah, it would be nice to see them come up with a nice, neat way to be able to run either or. It is indeed in Canada, Eclipsy. That is, yeah, that's the pun. I think it is nice that we're at least getting Persona 3 modernized. For Atlus as a developer, being able to have their series have become so popular that having had it become so popular that they can do that. And make good money to then try and make more modern games, or like their, like, sequel games, is pretty pretty phenomenal for them. Is Tears of the Kingdom Breath of the Wild, or better than Breath of the Wild? In some ways, yes, in some ways, no. I think that the ability to build and tackle some solutions with, you know, with so many different options instead of the motion control-y kind of weird shit we got for shrines in Breath of the Wild is demonstrably better. The shrine, or not the shrines, the temples are definitely downgrades on average from the Divine Beasts, and I was already not the biggest fan of Divine Beasts, but this is definitely not as strong. There's a lot more real estate here, but whether or not that real estate is full of stuff that you may or may not want to interact with is kind of on a more subjective basis. Yeah, I would say that people that like Breath of the Wild are almost universally going to like Tears of the Kingdom, but whether or not they believe Tears of the Kingdom is better than Breath of the Wild will be dependent upon how much they enjoy engaging with the new mechanics that they added to Tears of the Kingdom. I don't think that the new mechanics will stop them from liking it. It will just be more about, you know, what do they enjoy what those new mechanics bring to the table. Does Adam think that he can climb up this whole fucking thing instead of doing something smart like building a device to go up there? And yes he does. It definitely, so as somebody who didn't play Breath of the Wild since 2017, and so, or 2018 at the time, I definitely don't remember a lot of Breath of the Wild to the point where, you know, I could probably go back and almost play it again. And even still, this still feels like I've put in Breath of the Wild, and when in my absence, they have added some shit. It's kind of what it feels like. For better or worse. And that's why I say if you like Breath of the Wild, then this is like almost a no-brainer for a lot of people. It will undoubtedly, for many, feel very samey. And perhaps its only dangerous point would be it might feel too familiar. You know, for some people, feeling familiar to Breath of the Wild is going to be a major positive because Breath of the Wild, you know, they enjoyed so much. But for other people, feeling too familiar might feel like, you know, yes, I see that there's lots of content here, but, you know, does the familiarity, take away from it in a way that makes it feel like spending the full price on the game seems fair. But that group of people will be likely pretty small in comparison to the people that just think this is the greatest game ever made. Yannick99, another Gretzky, welcome in. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Welcome back. One more for the big 100. I appreciate that, Yannick. Thank you very much. By the way, just a reminder, if you missed it earlier today or yesterday, I was live on the YouTube channel. We were covering the Game Fest stuff. We did Xboxes, and then we did Ubisoft's today. There's a possibility that we hop in to do the Capcom one later. And there will be more and more live streaming content being done on YouTube as Twitch continues to blow the entire fucking website up. And so, just be, just be in the know. That if you enjoy my content and you want to be able to make sure that you're catching it either live or in VOD form, that you'll also want to be over on that YouTube channel, and just hit the bell icon and sub there, and you'll not miss it. I don't, we typically post at best. Mark has got like a short per day, something along those lines. You won't get inundated with notifications if you've got the bell icon on, and most of those shorts are little meme moments from the stream. So don't be concerned about bell iconing it and getting slammed with notifications. Wait, what? Wait, what? Hold on. What? Wait. Hold on, hold on. What? I don't know who the fuck. I feel like I know who Dreamcast guy is as a content creator, but I don't see him very frequently. Apparently he just got really angry that Starfield looked so good that he rage quit his stream. I don't know if he was banking on it being shit. That's a horrible bet if he did. Like, it's Bethesda. The absolute, like, bottom here was gonna be like an 8 out of 10, and it was gonna sell 10 million copies.
It's really weird that this shit looks like Fallout.
Oh no. Except for the move from partner, that other term I forgot now. What are the other changes to the movie? Okay, so I'll try and go over this relatively succinctly. The problem is that so many changes have been made that it is it's hard to be succinct. So let's start with this. So, myself and many other content creators have been weathering the storm ever since they started introducing ways in which they could remonetize the viewer base in ways that passed more money through Twitch's pockets and less into the streamers. So the first of that, of course, was bits, which was, of course, a targeting to try and reduce the amount of income missed out on by Twitch for tips going through PayPal or whatever straight to the end user, and so or to the streamer, and where they get to kind of double dip with bits. Bits culturally on the platform did well for a time, but didn't really take off enough for them. They weren't happy with that, so they introduced sub gifting. Sub gifting decimated tips pretty much site wide, in ways that had enormous knock-on effects financially for the vast majority of monetized streamers, as they want to call them, or partners at the time. To the point where between bits and gifted subs, as a cultural shift in how viewers were engaging with streamers to support them financially. Many people were down 20 to 40% month to month on income. So that was already a rough storm to weather. We weathered that one, stuck it out. And then they started to change their ad policies, and the amount of pre-rolls and things of that nature that would run, because Twitch has been trying to become more profitable, or profitable at all, for some time. Their ad fill and their ad rates are hideous, industry comparatively speaking. And so their solution is, instead of 2 pre-roll ads like you did on YouTube, you're getting upwards of 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pre-rolls. That absolutely decimated, to keep using that term, decimated a lot of small, medium, and even some larger streamers, but more in the small to medium size, their discoverability, because so many people are bouncing off of streams where they go, they're looking for something, their typical streamers aren't on, they're looking for something else in a similar category, and they click on somebody, 9 ads, boom, bounce to the next one. In order to avoid that, it was forcing the hand of the streamers to run ads in the middle of their stream of their own volition, but to a relatively high volume, more than most streamers would have been running ads in general otherwise, even if they were trying to monetize relatively heavy with advertisements. And so your only options were blast a bunch of ads every hour to try to disable pre-roll ads on your stream, or have just huge amounts of pre-roll ads for those trying to enter your stream. Is a very rock and a hard place situation. So that policy change also hurt pretty substantially. Then the next stage was some of the more recent stuff here this week, where that monetized streamer agreement is what you're trying to think of, instead of the partner agreement, which is the name for the contracts. What does all of that entail? What other policy changes did they make? And that's an important distinction, because everything that they're doing is policy changes. They're not actually doing anything to improve the life of the streamers on the platform and give them tools to succeed. All they're doing is making policy changes that further removes the revenue from the pocket of the streamer in a higher percentage share with Twitch that is not even remotely close to industry standard anymore. It's the most predatory and bottom of the barrel that has ever existed in my entire career, 13 years doing this on multiple platforms, just to make that as abundantly clear as humanly possible. This came about, and I was able to weather this like many others who had older contracts. The older contracts were, like myself and others, Jeff as well, included clauses that they were not allowed to make changes to our contracts without us also signing off on it. This was back when being a partner meant you actually had a partner manager, and there was much more discussion back and forth with the site whenever there were things that were going to change contract-wise, where you would sign off on any changes. That doesn't work for them. There are many older contracts that are on a higher than 50-50 split, on average, myself included. And that ends up being in a situation where they don't really have the ability to milk us anymore legally, as long as that contract is in place. So what was their solution to that? Well, they hired some very good lawyers to come up with a way to work around that, and that workaround was to basically change the site agreement, in which the moment that this agreement was changed, as soon as you had live streamed after that site agreement change, it was essentially the same as you agreeing to these updated terms of service. The updated terms of service allowed them a loophole in order to stipulate that upon the end of any outstanding contracts, the new MSA would be sent out, and your two options are to either sign the MSA and continue on, or you don't sign the MSA and you lose all of your partnership status, etc., etc. They hide this under the guise of being kind of good, because they say that it's going to be a homogenous contract. Everyone has the same contract, and they're going to be making the contract public for public viewing. That doesn't actually mean anything because there are much worse aspects to this system. For example, in the MSA that they are now including and forcing everyone into, you have no choice. You are going to be on it or lose all of your money. The MSA now means that they do not need to have the signature of any of the what used to be called partners, now just monetized streamers. They don't need your signature. All they need to do is give you 30 days notice of any changes to your agreement, and then you just have to take it like a bitch. What does that mean? Well, it means that anyone that's on a grandfathered contract is likely going to lose another 20 to 30% of their income right off the rip, as they will be moving everyone from 70-30 of any flavor pretty much down to 50-50 as they homogenize the entire website under a singular contract form. So, anyone that is currently on contract like myself has this small window until their current contract runs out, and then they are forced into the MSA, at which point the already meager income that I have remaining on this platform, even if you were to take into consideration the viewer count numbers today versus even just 4 years ago, all else being equal, I will now have gone from, if 100% was in 2017, to somewhere in the neighborhood of about 35% of that same income. As such, that's unsustainable for me, even as a part-time thing as I transition into outside work, trying to become some sort of junior software engineer or use my degree in some other capacity. I need time to be able to transition into that, which means I need to be able to have more flexibility in my work schedule, ideally. And so with before these changes, the money I was making here was still going to be able to support that ideal situation where I could continue to support M, bring her to and from work, be able to do stuff around the house while she's at work, while also doing this and preparing myself for a new career shift where this becomes a secondary source of income instead of the primary. But that's not really doable anymore as soon as this kind of stuff gets instituted. On top of that, they also have in place now a minimum content clause, which they haven't elaborated upon enough, but it likely points in the direction of minimum number of hours streamed in a given week or month, as well as they have a quality denotation in there, but they haven't qualified what the quality thing is supposed to mean. Nobody fucking knows. What it really sounds like is it will be a super gray, wide open bit, so that if they just want to take somebody off of the MSA, they have an easy to go to loophole with as absolutely minimum effort and administrative fee as humanly possible. They also changed it so that even if you aren't partnered or an affiliate, you cannot simulcast. So if you are on Twitch and streaming, whether you are a partner, an affiliate, or unpartnered, you are no longer allowed to simulcast your content. In today's day and age where there are more and more streamers and it's more and more saturated, being able to cast a wide net to try to garner an audience on multiple platforms with the limited number of hours that any human being has in a fucking day is an incredibly important thing for many content creators, myself included. Being able to have that kind of an option available for certain events or certain things is a very important thing. Taking that away means if you're streaming on Twitch, you are only streaming on Twitch, and of course you're still beholden to all the fuckery that I have just been describing to you. Furthermore, they're also instituting things that they clawed back, but showed their hand that they not only want to have their hands in all of that money, but they also want to have their hands in the money of sponsorship deals. The sponsorship deals right now for many of the larger streamers and middle-sized streamers, especially after all of the moves that Twitch made to get their hands into the pockets and change the culture around tipping, that also already took a lot of the money out of the pockets of streamers. The next big one was sponsorships, which for large streamers and mid-sized streamers are at this point in the industry, on average, the largest source of income out of everything. And Twitch, in many instances, don't have their hand involved in that because they do not act as an agency. As such, they started to implement some things, or tried to, where they were limiting, for example, the size of the logos that you have on stream for sponsorships, and also things like burned-in audio and video portions of advertising from your sponsors on the platform. They walked it back under the guise of saying that they only wanted to apply it to a very fringe case of ad agencies undercutting Twitch's ad buys by piping things in through HTML and otherwise onto streams that compete with Twitch's own ads that they have been working out with their advertising partners. The thing is that nobody even knew that fucking existed, and it can't possibly be that big of a fucking deal if nobody ever talked about it before, and it was definitely not their only impetus, which means they are definitely looking for ways to be able to turn Twitch as itself, especially under the MSA where everyone's homogenized, into some sort of agency in which they act as an intermediary between vetted partners that are allowed to sponsor streamers on their platform that they can then take a cut of before the remainder of the sponsorship deals get down to the partner, in which the bounty board is already like a progenitor of whatever it is they're trying to accomplish. All of this is in an effort to try and turn Twitch in the 11th hour into something that even remotely exists or exudes profitability for their parent company Amazon, because Amazon didn't get heavily enough involved in the beginning to fix their analytics and ads to the point where they could actually be profitable without having to run 47 ads and piss off everyone by taking all of their money from every other avenue, but they can't do that. And Amazon is looking at their watch going tick, 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 which means that they're sitting there going, alright, well, we just gotta fucking throw the baby out with the bathwater, we'll just go whole hog, we go in there, slice and dice everyone's fucking revenue down to absolutely nothing, put them in the most restrictive fucking agreement to have ever existed in the industry, and then if it doesn't work and we can't turn a profit, then we sell this bitch or shut it down. That is the shortest way I can give you that information. So what does that mean? It means that that anyone that isn't already making some sort of move to diversify their content and make sure that their community is ready to predominantly be on another platform off of Twitch is only locking themselves into a very harrowing deal where they have absolutely zero stability. They don't know. Within 30 days at best, they will know what Twitch will or will not do to their MSA and the amount of money that they're making, how they make it, the avenues, etc., etc. As such, I have been increasing my amount of content that I have been doing live on YouTube and will continue to do so. In fact, it is a good shot that the Final Fantasy XVI playthrough that's coming up at the end of the month leading up to my review of Final Fantasy XVI is likely to be almost entirely, if not entirely, done on YouTube. So if you want to catch that, or if you want to catch the VODs at the very least because you don't like the current live streaming format for YouTube, although for anyone with 2 monitors, my suggestion is to pop out the chat, go full screen, and just enjoy yourself. Head on over to youtube.com/@IamNova. Hit the subscribe button and bell icon so you don't miss any of that content. Of course, if you don't give a fuck, then it doesn't matter. You can also get on over to the Discord channel, and if you have the Discord channel, you're a part of that and you don't mute it, I do use the notifications channel to let people know when I am live, when I'm doing something, what channel I'm on, etc., so that you don't miss any of that content. Otherwise, you may start to miss out on some stuff because I'm not necessarily here as frequently because Twitch is forcing my hand. Can you pop out the chat in YouTube? Yes, you can. Yogurt, 35 months. Welcome back, sir. Thank you very much. One shy of the 3-year dream and of his own volition with Prime, although it's technically not, you know, it's using Daddy Bezos money, but I'll take the Bezos bucks while I still can. Thank you, Yogurt. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Interview completed, thought it went well, hopefully I'll hear back. Let's go! Love to see it. Yeah, that's a free trial of Prime, so they don't think I'm making yeah, you can just pop out the chat and you can make your own theater mode. It's less convenient, clearly, but it's, you know. I wonder. But yeah, do I want to have to do this? Not really. Twitch has been my home for over a decade. Everyone that's ever come through the stream has done so through Twitch. I'm sure there will be a lot of people that won't follow just because they're a creature of habit, or they never find out about it. I can only do so much to inform people of what's going on. It's a scary move. I was already, you know, in an anxious position where I'm trying to switch careers for my primary source of income. It does not make my life any easier. But sometimes you just, you know, your hand is forced and you gotta take a dive. Just the way it goes sometimes. Absolutely no reason to have all of these in a row, but we're doing it. Yeah, you got it, Link. Yeah, nailed it, Lonk. Came here from the SC2 fail YouTube videos. We going back to the roots? Well, there you go. You won't be a fish out of water. Oh, I'm sitting right on top of it. Doing well. Doing well. Come on. Get in there. Yoink. Now. Oh god. Calm down. Hmm. There goes two gliders. We're, hoping a prayer. It's alright, we only need one. Whoop! I want to see this guy rage quit his stream, though.
It's the walk cycle. It's doing the slow walk, guys. You know, oh, it's that walk cycle y'all love. All right, I'm gonna film the video. Thanks so much for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this, seriously, thanks for all the super chats. I'm gonna make a video about this.
What the? Why was he so mad? Why was he so mad? What? What? Why was he so mad? What the fuck? That man really said that, congrats Xbox, for Starfield being your next Redfall. Bro, I thought I was an asshole and like hypercritical. In you know, this guy is making me look good. I'm clearly not trying hard enough. I need to put more effort in. Lonk, over there! What am I looking at, exactly? It's this way? Did they really feel it necessary to, like, to do that? We're in playtesting, were players just, like, fucking off the side of the mountain? Is that what was happening? It must have been something like that. Well, doesn't that look great? What a hemorrhoided ass does that look like, huh? Do I just talk to this guy back here? Here we go.
I think it was near here. When I came up the mountain, I saw her. The princess was standing right here, Goro.
When did Gorons become Pokemon?
Me this fancy mask to wear around. After that, oh, jeez. It's no use. I can't remember anything that happened after that. Dude!
They started saying their own name in Twilight Princess?
She is Princess! Princess Zelda! We need to talk to you! It's dangerous.
Lovely. That looks fun.
Huh.
Yeah, now those hemorrhoids really need to be looked into.
Oh. Oh boy, it's real big.
You're not serious. No, there's no shot. There's no fucking shot. That's not...
Here I go!
Oh my god. Bro, this game is not built for this. I'm just gonna keep it 100.
If we can't hit it higher up, we're gonna be in trouble.
This game is not ready for this. It's a spicy meatball.
Ooh, that rock! I bet I can break it! Incoming! It's attacking! Be careful! Goro! Got it, Goro!
Oh my god, I can't believe they really Twilight Princess?
Time to retreat?
A second plate is hit more. Oh my god, yogurt.
Huh? Yeah!
Yeah. Totally. Right into the fiery asshole. Oh, that's gonna smell fucking amazing. I'm sorry, what? There are several layers of no going on here. Hot glooms ready for you in your area?
Hmm? Huh?
More people asking me to come. You know, I'm... No first date. No nothing.
Oh.
The internet claims they have been saying Goro since Ocarina of Time, but the translation didn't really have it as blatantly? Really? Man, for the life of me, I definitely don't remember any of that in Ocarina of Time. Holy shit. That would be like some... that would be some shit. Honest to God, like, that would be some shit if it was actually an Ocarina of Time. I have to do something I didn't think I was gonna have to do, but I do have to leave you for about 15 minutes. Not 15 Adam minutes, but actually 15 minutes. Mom just texted me. She was outside working in the heat. She overdid it a little bit. I gotta go help her bring something over to my aunt, because she's out of commission, so I'll be literally back in 15 minutes. Which means I have to turn the TV off, which means Zelda noise goes away, so I'll just play some music for you. I'll be back in 15 minutes. While I'm gone, let's try and figure out where this Goro fucking Pokemon shit managed to come from.